Let's get it started. Good morning, and welcome to the stream, my nerd Vengers, my broke Vengers, and visitors to the tower. I'll be right there. We've got a pretty exciting show. A lot of cool stuff coming out about Marvel. It seems like the MCU news just won't stop. I'm going to talk about that. A lot of good stuff to get into. New comments, interview. Daniel Brohl about Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Possibly very telling, and you know me. I like to go back and look at all the other reports, really dig in, see what we're looking at. Also did a really cool Shang-Chi video yesterday. Might want to talk about some of that stuff with you guys today as well. I'm coming in hot. I'll see you in a second. Nice day out there in the city. Beautiful looking day here in the tower. Very excited to be with you guys, man. Very, very excited to be talking with you guys today. Minor little thing. Just wanted to put it out there at the top of the show. You know, we were talking about geekdom yesterday. We were talking about Danny. And today is the day he is having his procedure. And so I just welcome everybody to put some positive vibes out there for Danny, put some Genki into the energy for him. Hopefully he can get through this and get back to living somewhat of a normal life. So other than that, let's get it started. Meet me in the studio. I'll see you in a second. Woo! What's up? What's up, Nerd Vengers? How we doing today? How's everybody doing? Before we get into all the craziness today, and there's plenty of craziness to get into, let's say what's up. Let's say good morning to all the beautiful Nerd Vengers. Tim Turner's in the building. Chris is in here. Callum is in here. Mark is in here. Kendall's here. Will Bonin. Dan D is here. Cole is in the building. Commissioner Gordon. Patricia's here. Russell's in the building. Whiskey Steve. Jennifer Cook. Kyle is here. Star Wars Santa. James Heaton. Jason. Chris. Cologne. 199 Trooper. I guess 199. Michael's in the building. Renee is here. Micah is here. JT. Ryan H. Yinzer Jim. Dan the Man. Aaron. Bashti. Burke. Holy cow. Woo! So many beautiful people here today. Landon Dubes is in the building. I'm sure Jacob's Quest is somewhere around as well. So many beautiful people. So many beautiful people. How you guys doing, man? How you guys doing? Never know if you mean me or the other Russell. Why don't you just assume that it's you? CGM show, welcome back. Serious note. I felt bad about banning CGM show yesterday, ladies and gentlemen. CGM show, you know, we might disagree a little bit, but I feel as though it was wasn't the best thing to do. And so I told you guys, you know, we unban people all the time. Welcome back, CGM show. Let's just get along. I'll try not to get triggered. You try not to be a butthole. We'll go from there. All right, show notes. Show notes. Pause this mother flipping music before I lose it. Okay. After dark. Thursday night. Be there. Also, working on edited videos with the guys yesterday. I think you will likely see a video by Al Schuler on the main channel today. Pretty sure. Today. You will see it. We're talking about the Fat Thor being skinny again. Okay, so it's a little bit of older news, but it's just the process. We're sort of trying to get these guys into the habit of being able to knock out solo videos to have a lot more content on the regular channel. I had a lot of good meetings with like editors and stuff. We're bringing a lot of people in to the team. A lot of cool stuff happening around here. So please go check it out. Al's video might be up today. Lavis's video might be up today, maybe tomorrow. But either way, please, you will be seeing other faces on the main channel, and it would be so cool if we just got some love. Just get some love for these guys, okay? Of course, you know, they're not going to be amazing right away, and as they go on, they will get better and better. So that is that. I don't know for sure if we're doing a watch party or when we're doing a watch party. I need to talk to Jason. I need to talk to Bashi. I need to get that figured out. I know there's a lot of interest in doing Mando Season 1, so maybe that will be the case. But as always, Nerdvengers, this Saturday at noon, we are doing our exclusive behind-the-scenes Nerdvengers members-only stream. Make sure you are there for that. I got a couple of videos trickling in. We'll talk more about it on Saturday, and then there's a business stream on Sunday, okay? That's it! That's it! Let's get back into the content, man. Let's get back into the content, man. I want to see about this Thunderbolt thing. Oh, geez. Camera's a little offset today. You see how it's like leaning? It's like kind of crooked. It's kind of, I'll be honest with you, it's kind of driving me fucking crazy, but it is what it is. Let's see. Give me 2 seconds here, ladies and gentlemen. I got to fix something in the theater real quick. Is that the one? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Is this where we're at? I think this is it. I think I got it. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, 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 yeah. Oh, come on. Come on. Okay. All right. How many of y'all saw the news yesterday? How many of y'all saw the news? Daniel Brohl talking a little bit about Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Pretty interesting if you ask me. Gonna go over Jeremy Conrad's little article and breakdown here of it. And then I want to look at some other stuff, some evidence in the past about Thunderbolts, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, so it says here, the Falcon and the Winter Soldier will bring back early MCU characters, while Falcon and the Winter Soldier will reunite characters from Captain America's trilogy, as well as introduce new members of the MCU. It sounds like we're going to see even more appearances from the earliest days of the MCU. In the Script Apart podcast via Empire, Derek Kolstad teased, what I will say is that there are characters from the earliest Marvel movies that are coming back. We're layering them in and reinventing them in a way that's going to shift the storytelling structure. It's effing awesome. Okay, so he says many are speculating that he could be referring to the villains such as the Leader, Abomination, or Justin Hammer, as the Falcon and the Winter Soldier is a big part of setting up the MCU's Thunderbolts. Okay, now I want to shift to an article that was written late last year. November 7th, 2019. Feels like yesterday. Early development on Thunderbolts has begun! Crazy. Let's see here. The loss of major leaders of the Avengers, such as Iron Man, Captain America, Black Widow, in the events of Endgame, has left a void in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Who will avenge the Earth in the future with its mightiest heroes decimated? What about a group of ragtag misfits and anti-heroes led by the person responsible for the Sokovia Accords? It's been rumored and speculated It's been rumored and speculated by many for a long time, but a Thunderbolts project is now in early development at Marvel. Most people want to see them on the big screen, but in the Disney Plus era and the emphasis Marvel Studios is placing on the service and its importance to the MCU, the possibility of the team starting there in a series can't be ruled out. As for the MCU lineup, that's easy to begin piecing together. We know Thunderbolt Ross does appear in some way in next May's Black Widow. Whether it's in the movie itself or a credit stinger is unknown, but that could be the first steps to him assembling his team. Then we have people like Ghost, Justin Hammer, and even the Winter Soldier waiting to be assembled by Ross. And don't forget about the return of Zemo, complete with his familiar hood. I'm sure there will be endless speculation, blah, 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 yada, yada. Okay, so this was him saying, like, late last year that Marvel was developing a Thunderbolts project. Like, the actual development on the project itself has begun. Okay? But if we are noticing anything about the most recent developments in the MCU with regards to Sony and Marvel, if there's anything to notice there, really, it is that the plan itself proceeds the projects on an individual basis. Meaning the plan, as far as the overarching story and the big concept that Feige and Marvel is working with, that plan gets established before the individual projects then get mandated. This is why Scott Derrickson left Doctor Strange 2. Okay? Like, I can imagine that conversation. And now, the more we hear about this stuff, the more it makes sense, right? Where you're like, oh, okay, no, I totally get why Scott was walking away from that. And you know what? You know what might be fun? You know what I kind of like doing, and maybe we can do today, ladies and gentlemen? I kind of like what, you know, look. Oh, we got a new member. Jonathan, welcome to the Nerdvengers. You're a Nerdvenger now. Thank you so much. Oh, and by the way, ADD side note, ladies and gentlemen. I saw many of you, well, I saw Brian actually, bring up the 6-month thing for the Nerdvengers badge. I will double check it today. If you guys have, if you've been a member for 6 months, you should be getting a diamond thing, and I will rectify that later today. But you know what I like doing is I like going back and I like watching, you know, my videos. You know, there's a ton of other YouTubers out there. There's a ton of people that make content, but frankly, I'm better than most of them. And so I like going back and watching old Josh. I can and this is actually, you know, where I'm memeing a little bit here, but this part's actually true. I can literally learn more from an old Josh video than from a recent Name Your Person video. Trust me, I can. Okay, so let's see here. Scott Derrickson. Doctor Strange loses director. Oh, here we go. Here we go. Doctor Strange 2. Little vidya we can put together here. Let's get back into the theater. Hang on. 2 seconds. Let me crop this up. Oh, that's not it. Turn that off. I just want to see. What was my reaction when we lost Scott Derrickson? You know? We don't have to wonder. We can literally watch it. It's kind of crazy. All right. Come on in. Come on into the theater. Pause the music. Chat. All right, here we go.
Director Scott Derrickson has parted ways with the project after creative differences have been cited between him and Marvel Studios. Wow, the spice is real with this one. It's the craziest news of the day.
Man,
this news.
We've tried so many like different things with the channel and stuff. It's just funny to me. This was when we were trying like, what if we turned off all the lights? What if we're like in the dark? Wouldn't that be kind of fun? That's what we did here.
It's Josh. Welcome back to the channel. Smash that like button and let's get right into this news. This is absolutely
I really like this lo-fi
stuff.
though.
I want to talk about what is actually happening, what fans are talking about, and where we're at now with Doctor Strange 2 in the Multiverse of Madness. Now, I'm over here at Yahoo Entertainment. I'm looking over at their article there. They are running this as an exclusive, talking about how Doctor Strange 2 director Scott Derrickson dropped out. They did publish this yesterday. But I think the actual exclusive was gotten by Variety, as they say in this article. Scott Derrickson is stepping down as the director of Marvel Doctor Strange 2 in the Multiverse of Madness. Variety said the studio has confirmed his departure in a statement attributing it to creative differences. Derrickson, who oversaw the first Doctor Strange, will remain on as executive producer. Now, here's what Marvel said to Variety, talking about the situation. They said, Marvel Studios and Scott Derrickson have amicably parted ways on Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness due to creative differences. In a statement, we remain grateful to Scott for his contributions to the MCU. Derrickson also said the decision was mutual on Twitter, saying, Marvel and I have mutually agreed to part ways on Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness due to creative differences. I am thankful for our collaboration and will remain on as executive producer. Now, the thing is, right now, a lot of people blaming this dude. A lot of people blaming this guy. In fact, Kevin Feige is currently trending on Twitter, and that trend will probably grow throughout the day. Bottom line, a lot of people are saying that this is probably due to stringent control that Kevin Feige did over the past couple of weeks, maybe months, with what he is doing with Doctor Strange 2 in the Multiverse of Madness specifically. Now, it's totally true, and we talk about it all the time here on the channel, that Kevin Feige, what's his report card say, guys? Straight A's, does not play well with others. He doesn't play nice with others. He has his own vision for these sort of things, and he's pretty stringent upon it. Now, I'm going to get into more speculation on this because I truly believe, like many others believe, that what was going on here was Doctor Strange 2 is actually going to be more like Avengers 4.5, and it's going to be super big for the future of the MCU, and therefore incredibly important as a total piece together. Now, it's really interesting, and we pointed this out on a live stream that I did on the Den of Nerds Live earlier today, where we were all just sort of talking about that. Make sure you go check out that channel for a lot of live streams and whatnot. But there were actually a few tweets from late last year that sort of painted a picture of some drama that was going on with.
By the way, somebody get past Josh like a freaking flashlight. Like, I'm just really worried. I'm worried about myself in this very dark room.
Marvel Studios. I'm going to put the tweets up here on the screen for you, and let's go over them. So on December 16th, 2019, he said, studio release dates are the enemy of art. Holy crap. I think that's pretty freaking telling. Definitely something was going on, man. He was thinking very hard about this deadline that they had and everything they were trying to squeeze in there. Next up, on December 19th, Scott Derrickson said, most major life choices come with major regrets. It's unavoidable, but the worst choice is not choosing
December
at all. Hell is sitting
2019.
down at the crossroad. Okay, pretty freaking wild there, right? Like, he knows he has to make a choice. There's a little bit of Doctor Strange kind of flavor in there, so maybe you could see this as sort of just a writer or director kind of talking about his couple of days after he took time out of his vacation to talk with me at length about a personal situation I'm dealing with. An astonishingly good filmmaker, but
so this is when he talked to Ryan Johnson. Ryan Johnson like helped him make this decision.
Also, an incredibly gracious remake. Again, looking back in hindsight, it really does appear that this is what he was talking about. He was at a crossroads creatively with Marvel, and he sat down to talk with Ryan Johnson about it, of all people, because I don't know, him and Johnson are boys or something. I got to be honest, I find that incredibly weird because it's almost the exact opposite situation of what happened. Important that Ryan down with the New York Film Academy and did a nice interview with them talking about the films. He was asked about Doctor Strange 2 in the Multiverse of Madness, and he had this to say. Multiverse of Madness is the greatest title we've ever come up with, by the way, which is one
this is Feige right here
about it. I wouldn't necessarily say that it's a horror film, but it'll be a big MCU film with scary sequences. Now, I'm going to paraphrase the rest of the quote because Feige sometimes talks like in these broken sentences where he just really like trails on. I'm guilty of this myself, but basically he went on to talk about Raiders of the Lost Ark and how they literally made films PG-13. Like there was no PG-13 rating before some of those films.
So basically, the point I was making in the video back in the day, and we can stop it there. The point that I was making back in the day was, you know, it really did appear that Marvel and Feige. I can't shit anymore. Stop. That's probably making you guys sick. You're probably like, what the fuck, Josh? A little bit better. That's a little bit better. Okay. So, the point is, you know, even back then, it was obvious that the plan was more or less handed to Scott. Scott didn't really get a say in it, especially with regards to Doctor Strange 2, right? Where it's like, I think Scott had a vision for what he wanted to do with the character. And by the way, from what I've heard, even in Doctor Strange 1, essentially Scott made a lot of concessions and just did what Marvel wanted him to do. There were a lot that he wanted to put into that first movie, including Nightmare. He wanted Nightmare in the first Doctor Strange, right? And so that just obviously simply is not happening. So, you know, again, going back to the Spider-Man thing, it really feels like there's this plan, and then Feige's genius is figuring out the execution of that plan through different projects. So I think Doctor Strange 2 was always going to break open the multiverse and go crazy. But what's interesting is when Scott is talking in 2019 about the deadline, that's really interesting because that movie would have needed to start shooting like almost immediately, right? On the prior Phase 4 scheduling. In the prior Phase 4 scheduling, this film was going to come out, what was it, next winter? What was the original date for Doctor Strange 2? That's a question we need answered. Original release date, Doctor Strange 2. So, yeah, November 5th of next year. So, originally, Doctor Strange 2 was going to be the winter movie of next year, right? And so, I think what Scott was referring to, you know, in his tweets a little bit subtly, was the fact that, like, basically, he had a meeting with Feige, and he might have said any number of things. And then Feige was like, that's cool, Scott. Here's what we're going to do. Here's what we're actually going to do. You know what I mean? So, pretty wild. Pretty wild that he was likely handed that film. And then what's really interesting is the replacement of Sam Raimi. Because that kind of indicates that, like, I mean, unfortunately, it indicates that the actual director of the film, the person that actually helms the film, is really not the person that's in full control of these movies. It's Feige. We all know it's Feige. So Feige's making these movies. The directors, and I'm sure this varies, right, depending on the director and the film. And I think Feige is getting a little bit more comfortable with allowing people to do their thing. Thor Ragnarok is a great example. But by and large, it didn't matter who was in the director's chair for Doctor Strange 2. Feige was going to make his multiverse movie and his Avengers 4.5 regardless. But one of the things that's really interesting and the story that sort of we've been talking about, but not a lot of people are actually talking about, is the fact that due to the Rona and due to the shutdown, Feige and the MCU were able to kind of move things around, play a little jazz, figure stuff out a little bit more succinctly. And now Doctor Strange 2 has been moved to the end of Phase 4. It's like the last movie in Phase 4. Potentially. So, just really interesting, man. And to take all of that back to the Thunderbolt thing, you know, I really and truly believe that Thunderbolts was a plan that Feige had for some time. I think when Ghost was put into the Ant-Man and the Wasp film, I believe that was deliberate. I believe that character will show up maybe in Falcon and the Winter Soldier, but definitely in the Thunderbolts series. You know? And, Feige had talked about in some interviews post San Diego Comic-Con after he had announced Phase 4, he had talked about how he loved bringing characters that you thought were done from way back, that you thought were done, and they come back into the MCU. I think Justin Hammer is a shoo-in for coming back into the MCU. We just talked about yesterday George St. Pierre and Batroc the Leaper coming back in multiple MCU projects. Multiple? Pretty wild. Who would have thought that, right? But I think, we'll get the Leader. I think we'll get Abomination. And I think we will get Justin Hammer. And I do believe that the Thunderbolts are going to be established. And we may even get towards, please, hopefully, Dark Avengers. That's right. We got there. We said Dark Avengers. Take your shot. And before we go any further, all played by Alison Brie, of course. I'm going to go fill up my coffee, ladies and gentlemen. Give me 2 seconds. I'll be right back. Woo! Yeah, that's a perfect setup for Thunderbolts. Absolutely. I'm pretty excited. The Thunderbolts is a cool team. And, it just kind of makes sense, sort of to take you back to when we talked about, I used to say Dark Avengers like every video. It's like what I've been on, But, one of the things that's so exciting about this is I think even Far From Home sort of establishes this idea because the world is in complete disarray, right? And people are looking for heroes. And, we already know that we're going to have Flag Smasher and Ultimatum maybe playing, some kind of a role. But also, John Walker and U.S. Is it U.S. agent, I think, or U.S. citizen? I think it's U.S. agent. Will be the new Captain America. That's propaganda. You know what I mean? That's Ross and maybe some other people within the United States government saying the world needs heroes right now. We're gonna create one. Do you know what I mean? So pretty wild stuff, man. Pretty wild stuff. And these recent comments, just another sign that this is where we're headed to. This is what we're doing. So, what do you guys think? What do you guys think about Thunderbolts coming into the MCU? I'll see what you're saying in chat, and then we'll go from there. What do you think, ladies and gentlemans? Can we get Dolph Lundgren? Dude, that would be incredible. Dolph Lundgren Punisher in the multiverse. Whew! That'd be dope. Will he, Josh, you're such a baller. Why isn't there someone there keeping your coffee filled? Look, we don't want to put too much on Chet, okay? This dude's brain melts almost every day. You're going to let him just, do his thing over there. I'm getting more and more excited for Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Dude, Falcon and the Winter Soldier is going to be dope. Falcon and the Winter Soldier is going to be dope. Toilet Room says Thomas Jane Punisher better than Dolph Lundgren. I liked them both, but yeah, Thomas Jane Punisher, very good. Look, after Red Skull came back in Infinity War, it's a given more people will come back. Absolutely. And I hope there's more Red Skull stuff too. That's kind of an interesting one. I'm not sure how they'll work around that, but yeah, man, more Red Skull, please. Sign me the F up. By the way, too, I just wanted to stop for a second and explain something. So, I hope you guys know, and I assume most of you do, because we have a very smart fan base. Like, the Nerdvengers, pretty much the smartest fan base in this space, I think. But I'm sure you guys realize that after a long drought of actual news, that now the reason so many things are coming out and leaking is because they are back to work. You guys realize that, right? The timing of these things is important. So despite the fact that like Mikey Sutton has been giving us news and scoops all year, and you know, a lot of those reports and rumors are not true, we're now at a place where there's so much movement at Marvel Studios and with Warner Brothers and with, you know, Lucasfilm as well. But there's so much movement. That is why so much stuff is leaking out. So you gotta try to keep these things in perspective. You know what I mean? Is there some stuff coming out right now that's probably not true? For sure. But this is the time that these things would be coming out. You feel me? You understand? Screw these leaks. I just want something new to watch. Yeah, but Mando next week, baby. You know what I mean? Mando. It's going to be dope. Nikki says 2021 going to be stacked. You know, it's not just 2021. Like, that's the thing. It's like the future. Like the whole, like 2022, 2023, 2024, the whole way. This is the way. Hey, by the way, can we get a couple more likes on this video? I don't like to be that guy. But if we could smash some likes on this video, that would be great. That would be fantastico. Who would you want to lead the Thunderbolts? Zemo or the Thunderbolt Ross? I actually think it would be cool if Ross started it and Zemo takes it over. I think that would be pretty cool. Now I'm just wondering about the time between WandaVision and the next MCU show / project. That's true. It's going to be a little interesting. It's going to be a little weird. Do you think they will alter Abomination's look? I do. I mean, they altered the Hulk's look. You know what I mean? Like, just look at the Hulk in that movie and the Hulk now, right? So, we are 9 days away from Mando. I know. I'm pretty excited. I'm pretty freaking excited, man. Let's go. Here's to hoping for a really good first episode. And I believe that Jon Favreau directed the pilot, right? It's got to be fire, dude. Shit's got to be fire. Love the Zemo takeover idea. Perhaps racing Ross to work with the Avengers. Yeah, I think Ross might take the official route. You know what I mean? And do the actual Dark Avengers, right? And then, you know, because the Thunderbolts is kind of like Black Ops. You don't talk about it. You know what I mean? If you don't leave likes on this video, then Josh will start using "We Got This Covered" as a source. Damn, if that can't get a like out of y'all, I don't know what will. What's the episode runtime look like? I don't know. We make Josh look smart. Yes, you do, Brian. Yes, you do. The info of Falcon and the Winter Soldier makes me more excited for the show next year. Absolutely. Show's going to be fantastic, man. It's one of my favorite shows. It's like personally the one I'm really, really excited for, but I kind of like that street level. Like, I love all the Avengers, man. Like, I do. Yo, it reminds me of this really cool Frank Miller Daredevil moment where he has an interaction with Iron Man. And this was when, like, Daredevil didn't really mess with the Avengers. You know what I mean? And the way he speaks of the Avengers in those panels, that they're like gods that come down and tangle with the men. And he can, like, because he's Daredevil, right? He can hear and he can sense the repulsors warming up on Iron Man's fist. You know, he's not sure about Daredevil. And, you know, he can smell these different things about Tony and stuff. It's just a really interesting thing. But to me, like, that was always so cool because, like, the Avengers are doing Avengers things. But the street level stuff for me is always where I had the most fun. So like a Daredevil, like a Heroes for Hire, a Spider-Man, you know what I mean? Those types of characters. So I like them both, obviously. But for Falcon and the Winter Soldier, I am specifically excited because that is my shit, dude. Wet works, kind of street level stuff. Like these guys just getting into it, going around the world. It's going to be really cool. So I'm excited. Can you retread whatever news or rumor this is based on real quick? Nah, man. Nah, Danny. Wake up earlier, you fuck. With Disney ramping up the promotion for 2021 with Raya and The Last Dragon, how far out you think before we get something for Shang-Chi? Well, we had a fantastic little leak yesterday that I was so excited to talk about. And I'm very grateful because the video is actually performing. And the thing is, Shang-Chi videos have been tough for me. It's been tough to get a Shang-Chi video to pop. And yesterday's video was doing pretty well. So I'm excited about that. And if you want to, we can get into it. But it, I think, is very spoilery. Like, I tried to put a lot of, like, spoilery warnings on that. Because I think it's going to ruin some shit for people, to be honest with you. So we can talk about it. But I have to issue another spoiler warning if we do. Will we get Zemo dressed up as Citizen V? Maybe as a part of U.S. agents' propaganda machine? Maybe. But, yeah, maybe. Batroc and Shang-Chi. Yeah, indeed. You want to get into it? All right, so I will issue the same spoiler warning I issued yesterday. If you don't want to know about Shang-Chi, you might want to check out now. We'll probably talk about it for like 10 minutes, 5 to 10 minutes. So spoiler warning, get on out of here if you don't want to know anything about it. I'll give you like 30 seconds to get on out of here. That Shang-Chi video kind of confirmed what my dream version of that movie could be. Oh, man. It's going to be a good one. It's gonna be a good one. Okay, here we go. First thing that's crazy. Mutants. Mutants in the show. Or rather, the movie, in the tournament. Now, this is what's really wild. And we touched on this in the video yesterday, but Batroc the Leaper and Omega Red are rumored to be in Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Now, Batroc the Leaper is more or less confirmed. The amount of evidence for Omega Red is actually kind of staggering, though I am still personally skeptical of it. However, it is reported that both of those characters will also be in the Shang-Chi tournament. Think about what that means. That's fucking crazy, dude. And Omega Red is not the only mutant. There's a mutant called Spiral. Now, Spiral is a really interesting mutant. I actually am familiar with Spiral from HeroClix. She had an incredible, I think she has like some kind of teleportation or portal ability, if I remember correctly. It's ridiculous. She has 6 arms. She uses a lot of katanas. She's looking like a Shiva kind of lady out here. Fantastic. WizKid is another mutant. That's apparently in this movie. And so it kind of begs the question, like, how soon are we going to see mutants in the MCU? I think immediately. I think we'll see mutants in Falcon, or rather in WandaVision. I think we'll see mutants in Falcon and the Winter Soldier. I think we might even see mutants in Black Widow. Say what? Yeah. I think it's possible. Okay, so that's the first part. Ridiculous. Amazing. Okay. Shang-Chi might be one of my favorite movies in Phase 4. Yo, Rob, you and me both, brother. Like, this just sounded too cool. Okay? Okay. So, beyond that, the other thing that I thought was really cool, Baron Mordo. Mordo! In the movie. And Mordo shows up to get the 10 rings to take out the sorcerers. And Wong takes him out. And Wong also stays around to mentor Shang-Chi throughout the tournament. Love it, dude. Love it. Wong is incredible. The more Wong, the better. love him in this role. I love the idea of the Sorcerers of Kamar-Taj being aware of the Mandarin and the Ten Rings and Fin Fang Foom and all of it. Love it all. Fantastic. Fantastic. Next up, craziest thing that's in there. An Asgardian. An Asgardian lady warrior sent by Valkyrie. Sent by the new queen of New Asgard, Valkyrie. I mean, that in and of itself, I could probably do a whole video on. That's ridiculous. Like, we're so clearly headed towards the New Asgard Dark Avengers Siege storyline there. Whew. It's going to be dope. It's going to be fantastic. You know what else is in this tournament? A vampire. A vampire. The Mordo thing isn't that new. That's true, actually, CGM. There were other reports that Mordo would be in there, which is why I'm giving so many spoiler warning, because here, one of two things is going on. Either someone is really good at making up fake leaks, and they created this leak to tie together with all these other things. That is possible. However, it's, to me, just as possible that this person just got this info and it just simply tracks with all these other things that we are hearing. Therefore, I believe it. I believe at least some of this is true, and it's going to be in the film. That's what I believe. So, crazy, dude. But, as I was saying, a vampire. There's going to be a vampire character in the movie. Setting up what? Dracula. Blade. That side of the MCU. Yep. Kung Fu vampire, y'all. I mean, come on. Like, come on. Are you not entertained? Is this not why you are here? Crazy. Crazy. You know what I mean? Midnight Suns and on and on. Whew. Like, it seems like it frankly seems like the perfect fucking MCU movie. Not to mention that a lot of the MI6 stuff, and like we've seen, we haven't seen it. It's reported that they're doing a lot of car chasing scenes and shooting some stuff like that. So imagine like Simu Lee like doing the James Bond thing, get into these crazy situations, you know, that kind of stuff. And then you got your Bloodsport tournament where you're gonna have mutants, Asgardians, sorcerers. This is incredible. And by the way, WizKid, the mutant, that was confirmed by Charlie Murphy like a year ago. So you see what I'm saying? Like, it really feels like this is all lining up. It's real. It's real shit. Oh my God. It's going to be fantastic. It's going to be fantastic. Brian says, it pisses me off because we should be getting into so much Marvel stuff right now, but we aren't because of the virus. That's true. I mean, you're not wrong. But I think they're making the best of this. You know what I mean? I really do. I think they're making the best of this, and I think that we'll get better content because of it. You know, so yeah. Really, really cool. It's all coming together, says Alex. Yes, indeed. An end credit scene of Shang-Chi could be Blade catching up with the vampire from the tournament. Yo. That'd be pretty dope, though. That would be cool. At the end of the day, they have more time to create now. Yeah, and I do think that the time... and, you know, we continue to speculate about this, and I will continue to speculate about it until I am proven incorrect. But also, this delay did give them time to solidify their plans with Sony. And I think, if anything, the Pandy gave Disney leverage in that negotiation that they didn't have before. Because now Sony wants to streamline entering into, you know, streaming. Wow. And so the Disney Plus angle and getting Sony, like cutting Sony in on Disney Plus, nice little piece of leverage in that negotiation. And so we don't know for sure, but there's potentially a lot of good that came out of the delay from the Pandy, as it were. Wasn't Shang-Chi rumored to be set between Infinity War and Endgame? So I've heard those rumors. I don't think those rumors are true, but I do believe that the film will be pretty isolated from other big events. So it's possible. When does Sub-Zero show up? I'm not sure. Haven't heard anything about that. When do you think Shang-Chi is set? I think it's set after the blip. I do. I think it's set after the blip. If I were doing it, I would make the blip and the snap have something to do with why the tournament needs to be held. Has something to do with why now the 10 rings are up for grabs. You know what I mean? That's what I would do. So, how long before we get any Black Panther news? Man, that's going to be a ways out, Andrew. They are likely going over every, like, different thing they could do. What's your favorite cheese? Jesus. Yeah. Do you think that's how they explain mutants? I think they'll explain mutants as being, something that was set up in the initial experiments with the Eternals. That gene was created back then on with primitive man, but it didn't manifest itself until later. However, I do think it would be really smart if the cosmic energy from the snap and the blip perhaps causes a bunch of mutants to manifest. Meaning, like, they already had the gene, but maybe, like, the blip and the snap makes a bunch of mutants, like, manifest their powers. Makes their mutant gene or their X gene manifest. That would be cool. I would be into that. And that could also explain what happened to Scarlet Witch. You know what I mean? So I think that's the direction that they're going to go. But who knows? I'm wondering if we'll get any Loki news as well. I haven't heard much from that production. That's true. They've been pretty sneaky with it, huh? Yeah, very similar to the Star Labs explosion in the CW universe on The Flash. Yes, very similar. Yeah, Rob, I feel you there. He says, I think they were making Shang-Chi to introduce a lot of new characters and tie in all the new players for the rest of Phase 4 and 5. I agree. What is Omega Red comic origin? So Omega Red is a mutant, but he was also like one of their very early super soldiers. So, in America, in the United States, there was the Weapon X program, and there's other names for it too. Even before it was called the Weapon X program, they were experimenting with super soldiers. Russia had their own version of that, and Omega Red is one of the mutants that comes out of the Russian version of the Weapon X program. He's kind of like a vampire himself, actually. That's why he's really pale in skin, and he like sucks life force out of people with those sort of like robotic tentacles that he has. He's very badass. He's very strong. He's really cool. Also has connections to the Red Room and the Black Widows in the comics. So we'll see if there's any tissue there in the MCU. Yeah. Yeah, maybe. Maybe Hulk could smash him. Similar to yes, exactly. Very similar to the program that created Winter Soldier, yeah. Yeah, Omega Red, favorite Marvel vs. Capcom character. Yeah, he's pretty good. Connective tissue, I'll say it. Josh, just imagine 5 to 10 years from now, Blade fighting Kang. Oh my God, yeah. That's wild. That's a wild image. Oh, that's cool, man. That's cool. That's funny, Alex. I guess let's just get into Q&A, guys. Let's just do Q&A. I think we're kind of in there anyways, but let's just knock out like 10, 15 minutes of Q&A, and then I'm going to call it. I promise that we will be doing longer streams. Just really busy right now. Like just a lot going on. But the good news is I'm actually bringing new people in to take work off of my plate so that I can actually hang out and stream more. So we could stream like 2 hours a day. That shit would be dope, right? So what's on your mind, ladies and gentlemen? What are you thinking? What's going on in the world that you'd like me to comment on? Why do you refuse to answer the question about cheese? I think burrata. Burrata is probably my favorite cheese. It's a version of mozzarella. The consistency is great. Don't worry, dude. Thank you. Spider-Man 3 set footage. Yeah, where is it? It's funny that film's been filming so much and there's no set footage. I respect it, but I don't like it. I understand. Oh, the cheese question. Oh, okay. I gotcha. Black truffle burrata dough? Never had it. It's probably pretty incredible. Josh, I just want to say Feige deserves major props for playing nice with Sony. I think that makes me like him more. He cares about his plan a lot, but also will do what's best for the fans. Good dude. Yeah. Yeah, so it's funny, man. I don't necessarily have a read on Feige as far as like the morality of this guy. I mean, I would tell you anybody that's a Hollywood person has a hint of Game of Thrones kind of ladder climbing thinking. But what has clearly separated Feige from the other people is not necessarily his attitude, but his ability and knowledge. A lot of motherfuckers want to come in there and throw their weight around, but very few actually can do what Feige does. I mean, just look at Jeff Johns. Jeff Johns is the perfect example. And Jeff Johns came from having monumental success as a comic book writer. He's an incredible comic book writer, even to this day. But he came out of the corporate side of things in the studio system, and he was horrible. He's just plainly horrible. Like, not just bad, but like functionally bad at his job. Look at the list of movies he's produced. Functionally bad. Just functionally not good. Beyond that, disruptive and, apparently abusive in some ways as well, right? So, you look at Jeff Johns versus Kevin Feige. These guys both came into Hollywood around the same time. Actually, they have a lot of interesting stories, and I believe they're legit friends. But the difference between those two is that Feige was born to be a producer. And Jeff Johns was born to be a comic book writer. Different. You think Raimi will play ball with Feige and Sony? Seems like he had more control in his trilogy. So I don't know where you heard that, Joe, but that's not true. Particularly in the third movie. In the third movie, a lot of the bullshit that happens is the studio. It was Sony. And really, it was Rothman and AVA Red, I believe. And so, look, will Raimi have more control? It's an interesting question. Does he even want more control? What does Raimi want at this point? I mean, I'm sure he's going to have a lot of fun on set. I'm sure he's going to be paid well. And at the end of the day, this is a brilliant little comeback for him. And it's great for his brand. He's going to get so much love, man. And if he goes over to then do some Spider-Verse stuff or like a solo Toby movie after that, that's probably in part due to Kevin Feige's help as well. And so I don't know. Will he have more control? Will he not have more control? I don't know. Omega Red looks wild. Yes, he does. Yes, he does. 2 hours of crazy karate and MCU special effects. Shang-Chi can't lose. I agree. It's going to be a dope movie. July of next year. July. Pretty wild. It's going to be a good year next year. Can't be worse than this one. Do you think Avengers 5 will be New Avengers versus Dark Avengers? I certainly think that is going to be something that starts to be established. That I believe 100%. I believe that Dark Avengers versus New Avengers is going to be a rift that is started. And you know what I really want to see? I'm going to be completely honest with you guys. I would love to see Carol join with Thunderbolt Ross. I would love to see Carol Danvers be a Thunderbolt and not an Avenger. I would love to see Carol be a Dark Avenger and not an actual Avenger. I think it would be great for her character. I think it would be great for Brie as an actress to try to tackle that and to do that. I think it would be fantastic. That's what I would do. I'm telling you, we need Spider-Man. It would be a great sci-fi thriller. I feel like they're throwing too many characters into these movies. I hope it's not the case, but sounds overwhelming, especially for the normies. I think that's a fair criticism, but like, were there too many characters in Infinity War? You know, were there too many characters in Endgame? I don't think so. I don't think so. Do you think Marvel / superhero movies can help galvanize movie theater sales? Yes. I mean, clearly, yeah. I clearly think they can help movie theater sales, yeah. How do you feel about Matthew McConaughey being Norman Osborn? Latest rumor on the streets. Look, I would love it. I don't know if it's true. I would love it. Would love it. Yeah, that's not happening. First, all the dickheads hurt her for being powerful woman, and then you make her a bad guy, sends a bad message. CGM show, look, I love you, and we're making it work, you and me. You know what I mean? Like, look, we gotta get past these differences. We gotta be able to disagree and still hold hands in public. You know what I mean? But let me explain something to you. Fuck that. I don't give a fuck about sending a bad message. I don't care. And I don't care about catering to motherfuckers that are like, with their shit. Don't care. I'm thinking only in terms of what would be dope? What would be exciting? What would be interesting? Is that not why we go to the fucking movies? Or do we go to the movies to get messaging and optics lessons and shit like that? You know what I mean? That's my opinion. Don't care. Will we see the Defenders again? We'll see Defenders. We'll see some Defenders. That's true. Do you think Jamie Foxx's Electro will be him from Spider-Man 2 with the multiverse? Or is he just someone from Tom Holland's? I think he's multiverse. I'm not exactly sure. I don't completely understand what they're doing with that. But yeah, totally. You know what I mean? You feel me? Norman Osborn is such a rich / powerful character. Also, relationship between Harry and Peter is amazing. Hope they do it right this time. Yeah, I would love to see. We don't have Harry Osborn in the MCU, do we? Because Flash has sort of replaced Harry as that like rich friend, right? That Peter has. There's no Harry Osborn right now, right? Yeah, man, interesting. Interesting, right? Be interesting to see what they do with that. Isn't there a rumor about Black Widow being released on Disney Plus? I mean, there are rumors, there are reports, there are suggestions. I mean, a lot of people would like them to do it. I've been preaching that they should do it pretty much all of 2020. We'll see. You know what I mean? We'll see. I have no update on that. The combination between the Raimi films and Mark Webb would be perfect. I agree. I like it. I'm into it. Off topic, but do you think there will be anything crazy episode 1 of Mando? No. If there is anything crazy in episode 1, it'll be Sabine Wren related, I think. That's what my gut tells me. But no, I don't think so. I think it's just going to kind of give us a dope Mando episode and kind of catch us up on where this dude is at. You know what I mean? That's where I'm at with it. If they do multiverse, then they can easily do Sinister Six, and people like Doc Ock can come from the past movies, so we don't have to introduce new characters. That's true. Very true. And it brings a little bit of spice, a little bit of pizzazz to the film. You know what I mean? Could open up with the child getting murdered. I'd laugh so hard, dude. I'm not going to lie. Like, I like Baby Yoda. I do. But yeah. I would be fine with it. I joked with you guys before, but this is kind of serious, that if the first scene of episode 1 was Boba Fett coming up behind Mando and the baby and capping Mando in the head and then capping Baby Yoda in the head and then just being like, I'm the Mandalorian now, motherfuckers, I would literally be one of the people like this. And I start singing like a Southern Baptist preacher. So that shit would be dope. Fuck 'em. Josh, who is your most wanted Spider-Man villain you want to see on the big screen? Kane, Scarlet Spider. Kane. But I actually want to see him as a hero, so it's kind of a cop-out. Who could be a great Spider-Man villain? I mean, Kraven, but we're going to get him. Maybe Moreland and the whole Spider-Verse thing. That shit's kind of cool. So maybe that. Like Pattinson in that Netflix shit. Yeah, for sure. Josh, you keep saying my name wrong. Conditioner Gordon. Man, you're so clever. Can't even handle it. I think Baby Yoda will turn on Mando at some point. Maybe. That'd be very cool. Josh, a baby hater like Ryan Cannell. No, I'm not a hater. It's just like, for me, it's like, I mean, that's cool. I'm glad the soccer moms found something to like within Star Wars. Anyway. In Shang-Chi movie, Red Omega and Baron Mordo. Yes. Granted, I've never read House of M, but could Wanda be a secret big baddie the Avengers have teamed up to take down? It's possible. It's possible. CGM Show coming in hot with the super chat. It says that Raya and the Last Dragon trailer was fun. I've heard it's pretty cool. I haven't seen it, but yeah, I heard it was pretty cool. Appreciate the love, man. Who do you think will die in Mando 2? Maybe Grief. Maybe Grief. I don't know. Black Widow should release in theaters. Maybe. Josh, you start watching Hellstrom yet? Nah, man, I ain't. No, that's not for me. That's not for me. Nope. No thanks. Josh, I said Joe Creary. Steve from Stranger Things should say Harry Osborn. Ooh, that could be good. That could definitely be good. Yeah, it could be Grief, yeah. Could be Ryuku. I do want to see Omega Red, Wolverine versus Omega Red, dude, for sure. Yeah. Josh, you watch any anime? Yeah. In fact, I actually watched. You know what I watched last night? Have you ever seen or heard of the movie Redline? It's an anime about racing. It's like a sci-fi kind of. You know, honestly, it reminded me of pod racing. I'm going to be real with you. It reminded me a lot of pod racing. It is a fantastic film, and I had heard about this movie. This movie took like 10 years to make. It's all hand animated, hand drawn, and it is beautiful, like beautiful. Man, such a fun film, man. Really cool characters. So if you've never seen Redline, I highly recommend it. But yeah, I'm a big fan of anime. Interesting, Jenna. That is really interesting. What is your prediction for the craziest thing that'll happen in Mando Season 2? Well, besides all the stuff that we think is going to happen, I mean, you know, obviously the Filoni episode and seeing Ahsoka, maybe Ezra, and like understanding more of that would be really, really cool. But to me, what would be the craziest thing is whatever's going on with Moff Gideon. That is really, I think, where the juice is at in Season 2, is understanding more about Moff Gideon, the Imperial Remnant, Palpatine's plan, and the state of the galaxy at that time. And so I'm really looking forward to learning more about Gideon, his dark side connections, his Force connections, etc., etc. Black Panther and Get Out director Daniel is producing live-action Barney flick. I actually heard about that. That may have a tragic thing. I think that's been reported on it several times, right? Your girl Grace is loving all on that Raya trailer first time, and I agree with her. That's cool, man. That's cool. The Animaniacs trailer trashes Hollywood's reliance on reboots and revivals. Yeah, makes sense. Do you think Marvel will ever attempt a movie like Joker? No. Nope. Why would they? Why would they? They could learn from Joker, but the brand of the MCU and the brand, everybody gives the MCU crap for being Disneyfied. Fuck out of here, dude. $23 billion? Yeah. I am Groot. We kind of already know what's going to happen in Mando. As Fab said, it's inspired by the 70s movies Paper Moon. Mando takes Baby back to his peeps. Yep. Baby Yoda is sad, goes back and finds and stays. Yeah. That's fair. That's totally fair. Who's your favorite female character in Marvel? Just Marvel in general? Just Marvel in general? I really like Domino. Domino from the comics is a really, really awesome character. Let's see here. Who's some of my baddies, man? Who's some of my favorite baddies? I like Rogue a lot from the early X-Men comics. She's fantastic. Fantastic character. The White Queen, Emma Frost, is probably one of my favorite characters. Man, I think Emma's a bad bitch, man. And the thing about Emma that's so cool is she uses her sexuality. She's like one of those self-aware thoughts on Insta. And she's playing all these homies. You know what I mean? She's playing them. I love it. I love it. So she's pretty fantastic. Definitely one of my faves. Oh, man. Who else? I've never really been a big Jean Grey fan. Never really thought she was all that. Storm's cool. I like Storm a lot. Who else? Who else is bad? Let me think. This is kind of an interesting one. This is a newer one, but there's a character named Black Swan in the Hickman run, up to time runs out. I thought she was quite fantastic. Valeria is also a brilliant character, pun intended, I guess. Valeria is Reed and Sue's daughter, who's as smart as Doctor Doom. She's got all the sass and all the smarts. Really, really like that character. So there's a few of them. There's a few for you. Magic's cool. Yeah, Magic's real cool. Did I miss a super chat while I was zoning out? Did I miss something? Psylocke's cool. Yeah, Psylocke's real cool, for sure. Josh, you said Feige really wanted Norman Osborn. Any news on when the Osborns could show up in the MCU? I would say immediately. Immediately. But what does that mean? Doubt that he will be in WandaVision. Maybe referenced in Black Widow. Maybe. And then I think your best bet on him being introduced might be Falcon and the Winter Soldier. And then, yeah, I do think it's possible Norman Osborn is in Shang-Chi as well. That's all I can say about that for now. Josh, are we done with community streams? No, we're not done with community streams, but we're trying to figure out the best way to do them moving forward. And I don't have an update on that right now. Cassian series starts filming November 4th. Beautiful. Beautiful. Did Marvel ever announce a Fantastic Four release? No. There's no official reports about that. Did you see New Mutants? No, I didn't. So, any aspirations to start your own productions or comics? Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I've got a comic out right now. I got another comic that I'm working on. My artist, I feel bad for him, Dylan. If you're watching, I apologize. I will try to get back to you. This is the thing. You guys get mad at me because sometimes I don't email you back or message you back. This motherfucker and I are literally working together on a project. He needs to hear back from me so that we can keep going. And I still have left him in the lurch on the past couple of days. So, like, everybody just chill the fuck out. You have a comic coming out? Yeah, I have a comic coming out. I also have a comic. I already have published comics. Ozzy as Norman might be the only Osborn we get. Dude, is Ozzy still alive? I don't want to be unsensitive. Ooh, Abigail Brand is a great one. Silver Sable is really good. I agree with you there. Spider-Man, Spectrum, Emma Frost, yeah. She-Hulk's dope. Crystal's cool. Yeah, I agree with most of yours there. What's the one you have out? Okay, so I have 2 books out. I did one called Robin Hood, Eon's Edge. It was like a cyberpunk Robin Hood book. I think the first issue of that is fantastic, but unfortunately, I don't know when I'll ever finish that story. And then my main book is a book called Morose, The Hard-Boiled Hero. It's pretty bad ass. Did you see Gray's tweet like 2 days ago about Tobey Maguire wanting more time out of the suit than all 3 Spidey meeting in Times Square? I heard her tweet about, or I've heard that she was tweeting that. Yeah, I mean, this all tracks. This all makes sense, yeah. Josh, is being selfish wrong? Not only, look, being selfish is inescapable. You know what I mean? Like, there is no real altruism in the universe. You know what I mean? I don't want to go too deep into this this philosophical thing, you know, but is being selfish wrong? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. That's all I'll say on that. Everything we do is motivated by our own desires. Indeed. Indeed. Even the people that like give all of their time to volunteer or, you know, just dedicate themselves to doing, they're actually just doing that to sort of appease a self-interested part of their personality. And some people do it like just so blatantly, obviously, where they're just like, the virtue signaling is like eye-rolling, nauseatingly apparent, right? But even the people that like are genuine about it, they are genuine, but they're genuinely doing it because they're trying to appease a version of self. That's what it comes down to. It all comes back to self. You know what I mean? This is like that Zen thing where, you know, it's like Buddha said, you know, desire is the cause of all of our pain, right? Desire leads to suffering. And so he's like, you should eliminate desire from your life. And all of his pupils then became obsessed with eliminating desire. But the desire to eliminate the desire became the problem. You can't escape it. You can't escape it. If you hurt someone with your selfishness, it's bad, I think. Tim, I would say if you hurt someone, period, it's bad. And one of my favorite little parables here is like, do you know what strychnine is? Strychnine? It's a poison. Okay. So let me explain something to you. If somebody that hated you, Tim, hated you, your mortal enemy, came up to you and put sugar in your coffee, what would you have? You'd have a little sweeter coffee. And then if your best friend or even your mother, somebody that loves you, came over and put strychnine in your coffee, you would be dead. And so you see, that whole idea of like, oh, when selfishness hurts someone, it's wrong. No. When someone gets hurt, that sucks. But that's just going to happen. And it's going to happen regardless of the intention of the party that's doing it. You know what I mean? That's funny. But I don't like sweet coffee. Well, then I guess it doesn't make sense. Damn, you're too smart. Nah, man. Just paying attention. Just giving a fuck. That's what that is. Do you think that if they brought Miles Morales into the MCU, it would be with the other Spider-Man or in his solo film? It'll be with the other Spider-Man, and then I think he'll get his own solo stuff or whatever. What's your IQ? It's very high, but IQ is just a number. I actually don't think IQ really indicates intelligence. I don't think that's true. So, do I have a high IQ? Yes. But I also think IQ is bullshit for the most part. For the most part, it's bullshit. The Chris Pratt news ain't even news. He's upset over a meme because of trolls. Yeah, maybe that's true. I haven't looked too much into it, to be honest with you. But yeah, you know, for me, it's a non-story. I mean, I just don't care. Josh, where can we find your comics? Give me 1 second. Check this out. And if you do make a purchase on this, put in the notes for the purchase or whatever that Josh from the Den of Nerds sent you. This website right here, this is the that is the publisher that I used to work for. I actually used to be an editor with them, editor-in-chief of an imprint. So check that out. They have a digital store on there, and you can find my books on that website. You found them on Comixology as well. Yeah, some of them are on Comixology. Some of the versions that are on Comixology, I'm not super pumped about. Yeah, look, you got to also, I would warn you that Moros, particularly the first issue, was written when I was like 19 years old. It is very violent. It is very abrasive. It has some scenes in there that are like, what? That I would not write again in my older age now. You know what I mean? So. Can you publish comics independent? I mean, in general? Yeah, absolutely, you can. Yeah. What villain would you like Miles Morales to face off against? I mean, there's like all of them. You know what I mean? Like pretty much all the Spider-Man villains are dope, and they pretty much carry over in different ways. For Miles, I know he does a lot of stuff with Champions and the New Avengers and whatnot. So, it'd be cool to see him like that. Cyberpunk Robin Hood. Why aren't you writing for Feige already? That's awesome. Dude, and that book's incredible. Like, I stand by the quality of that book. That's a great first issue. Like, it's really good. If they do an X-Men film, they need to focus on the team itself and not just one character. Interesting. Interesting. Bryan Cranston as Norman. Love it, dude. Love it. Should be dope. Would love it. What's the book called? It's called Robin Hood, Eon's Edge. It's called Robin Hood, Eon's Edge, man. That's all I got. Merch link. Anyone? Oh, yes. We should plug the merch, yes. I promise I'll do better at that. Any word on the casting of Kraven? No word. No word. I know, Brian. Brian, I know. We'll get there, brother. We'll get there. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I think we're going to call it there, okay? Thank you so much for being a part of this community, being part of this family. Coming here, hanging out, live streaming with us every morning, man. Brings me a lot of joy. I enjoy getting my days started with y'all. It's fantastic stuff, really and truly. So thank you guys so much. Look out for some videos on the main channel later today. Remember, you're going to start seeing other faces on the main channel. And it will be great to get some love in the comments for everybody taking a crack at some of the solo videos, okay? As I always say, I hope you are having an awesome and a nerdy day, and I'll see you in the next video.